Perfect. Okay, so I will go in alphabetical order by first name. So Denise will have 3 minutes to speak first, and then Sohini, and then we will move to a Q&A, and we'll take about 3 questions during the Q&A period. You can ask your questions by raising your hand and waiting to be called upon. So Denise, the floor is yours. You have 3 minutes. Go ahead.
All right. Thank you very much to everybody that's here for just giving me this opportunity to speak and, well, just advocate for myself here. I am a second-year PhD student in kinesiology. I'm studying sports management and leadership with a focus on social entrepreneurship in sports for women in Africa. I come from Botswana, which is obviously in Africa and obviously a majority Black country. But it was only when I moved to North America, which has been about 6 years now, that I actually really realized that I'm Black. And it was a jarring experience. It was a jarring realization in seeing my kinfolk treated and living within this, this marginalized existence, right? And so I've been led to a point where I just can't remain silent anymore. And I feel like I need to take action. And I guess that has been galvanized by the incident that happened here at Western, by the Black Lives Movement that went on this summer, and also just by the power of Black voices that we witnessed in the US elections. And so I'm Black, as I've said, and so I have no shame in saying that I advocate for Black voices here at Western. And I don't feel that that in any way alienates or discriminates against any other racialized experiences. In fact, I believe, I'm a very fervent believer in the fact that by addressing the oppression of Black women, who I believe are one of the most oppressed populations, that I am advocating for all that are oppressed, because our liberation lays a foundation for all racialized groups. And so I don't speak about this with a myopic view. I do understand that there are intersections that really lay on and really increase the depth of oppression. But I don't think that that nullifies my stance. If anything, I think it textures my stance. And so that being said, I also want to say that as a Black person who experiences and understands and recognizes oppression, I also feel like in parallel to what my focused foundation would be, I would also be hard pressed also to really speak towards Indigenous injustices. And I say this, and I know these are portfolios that are already filled, but I also completely believe that we can't and should not work in silos, and that, yeah, there's a lot that can be garnered, and a lot of movement that can happen if we have a common understanding of everyone's oppression and how we can move Western forward. So yeah, that's me. I'm willing to take any questions.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll have a kind of like an official question session afterwards. But thank you so much for that. I do see the point of information from number 109. I'm going to let the other candidate, if that's okay, number 109, give their statement, and then we'll go to your point of information. Thank you. So Sohini, I will yield the floor to you so that you can provide your statement to council.
Thank you, Afi. I have a statement prepared, so please bear with my voice for 3 minutes. My name is Sohini Chatterjee. My pronouns are she and her, and I'm a first-year PhD student in the Department of Gender, Sexuality, and Women's Studies. As a queer woman of color and graduate student from India, I intend to bring to the office of the REIC the urgency of decolonizing the academy. Recognizing the history of structural violence, systemic and institutional racism that accompany our lived realities, I aim to advocate on behalf of the Society of Graduate Students for Racial Justice and Equity. In that spirit, I intend to hold public meetings at least once per semester to voice the concerns of racialized and minoritized students in response to socioeconomic and political developments that stand in the way of rights and justice. I propose to do this because racial justice concerns need to permeate the larger community at Western so that dialogues are continually had and conversations about anti-racism efforts continue. I intend to invite and encourage racialized graduate students from every department at the university to voice their concerns however they might wish to, and take their divergent positionalities into account while carrying out the obligations of this office. I would hold regular meetings at least once a month with my constituency group and report to the SOGS Council as and when required in the spirit of transparency and accountability. I believe anti-racism work is collaborative. I would work with gender concerns, Indigenous, accessibility, and pride commissioners to cater to the needs of variously marginalized, racialized students. I'll ensure that the Office of the REIC makes communication and coordination possible between various committees at SOGS, as well as between all members of this council. If need be, I would invite the insights of President's Anti-Racism Working Group, including those of Western Special Advisors on Anti-Racism, to inform my work in the capacity of the REIC. I also resolve to keep running the Anti-Racism Book Club, which I believe is a powerful initiative through which experiential knowledge can be shared and envisioning the way forward collectively can be facilitated. Acknowledging the labor of everyone involved with SOGS, I aim to work with its members while taking a justice-oriented, transformation-focused, and difference-aware approach to the critical work that the Office of the REIC demands. I'll also ensure more information is available about REIC's initiatives on Western's website so that the commissioners who will continue this work after us have a sense of its needs and urgencies. I would assist committees and commissioners in organizing and developing action plans that involve and demand the foregrounding of priorities of racialized students. I intend to make available resources online on anti-racism so that racialized students on campus have access to them, as do all Western members. My vision for this office is to help strengthen the community that sustains and empowers racialized and minoritized students by democratizing the office of the REIC so that students are seen and heard. I intend to act with self-awareness and sincere commitment to the best of my abilities. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much. Okay, before we open for questions, number 109, your point of information.
Yes, I remember from our last meeting that we had an election for this position, including a candidate who was the previous REIC commissioner. And so I'm wondering what happened.
Okay, thanks. So you're wondering what happened with the commissioner that we elected last council meetings. I see President Zenor has their hand up, so go ahead, President Zenor.
Yeah, so our recent racial equity and inclusivity commissioner specifically shared this with me and said that this is something I could share. So part of why she was interested in the position was based on some racism that she was facing in her own department. And unfortunately, when apparently announcing that she was in this role proved a bit of a tipping point. And so she had to promptly resign so that she could focus on addressing that in her own studies. Part of why she wanted me to be explicit about this is to be clear that, you know, she still very much wants to contribute to the community as much as possible. And also just to really draw attention to just how pressing and embedded racism is as an issue.
Great, thank you. All right, okay, so in terms of the Q&A period, just to go over the quote unquote rules. So we're gonna accept about 3 questions. Sorry for all the ums and the likes tonight, friends. And we're going to accept about 3 questions, and these questions are not directed at a specific candidate, but are rather broad questions, and or not broad questions, but questions that are for both candidates, and both candidates will be given the opportunity to answer all questions put forward. So if you do have any questions for our candidates here, please raise your hand and I will call on you. Yeah, Councillor 138, go ahead and pose your question.
Hi, thank you, Speaker. I have a simple question for, I guess, both candidates. It's, I have it typed out here. It's how would you plan and measure success as a racial equity and inclusivity commissioner for all groups by ensuring that level of inclusivity, especially for 1 month within, let's say, a time frame of a month, 3 months, or 6 months, or overall your entire position in this role? So again, how would you plan and measure success as a commissioner in this role?
Okay, thank you. Number 138. Denise, I'll give you the floor first to answer.
Thank you very much, Speaker. All right, so I'm inclined to firstly delve or to lean on surveys as a great way to get some feedback on whatever initiatives that we propose or take action on, and use those surveys and the data garnered from those surveys. However, I'm also very aware of the fact that students are, especially with the last incidences of racism and how the university was trying to gain information, that students are a little fatigued by surveys and really don't really see the impact of them. So in addition to that, I do think a great way of measuring how what we're doing is also just to see how much engagement we're garnering. So I too plan on making sure that we have a lot of points of sources of information that help to just spread the word of what we're doing and what avenues students have with any racial grievances, but also in having events and putting up places where students can also share their voices, because I'm a big advocate of the fact that a lot of racialized voices are not being amplified. Not that they're not there, they're just not being amplified. So using things that we can engage students with, so having events that have like art shows, photography, where they can express themselves in different ways, having websites or a blog where people can speak and write, and really garnering how much engagement we get in activities, even if we have town halls or we have speaker series. That for me speaks more to how much we're actually reaching and penetrating the community. I hope that answered your question.
Thank you. Sohini, go ahead and take a stab at that one.
Thank you very much for that question. I think that when concerns come to us and they're individualistic, individuals will have to sort of tell us how they are responding to the action that is being taken by the office. So I will not be measuring my success alone. It is going to be a collaborative effort between the person who comes to me with their concerns and through an interrogation of how they feel. Will I be able to understand how much work has been done and how much work still needs to be, how much work still we need to do and invest in. And I think there isn't a specific time limit that we need to keep in mind, because anti-racism work is ongoing. We will have to keep investing. There are going to be roadblocks, impediments. We know that anti-racism is racism is so entrenched that any anti-racism work is it involves so many hurdles on the way. So we have to keep the avenues of dialogue open. We need to constantly have conversations, and we need to interrogate our subject position in this role, and then probably arrive not at a conclusion, but an assessment of how much work still needs to be done.
Thank you. I'm seeing a question from Mo. Go ahead.
Hi, thank you. Thank you to both candidates for their amazing speeches. I have a question, and this is not to put you on spot, but just to raise, to see your approach to a problem that is consistent, not just in and urgent, not just in Western, but in among Canadian universities, which is the fact that admittedly students who experience racial discrimination and racism historically in the past decade or so, they have been shown to not willing to speak up or to come forward, or rather to file a complaint specifically regarding racial harassment. So it's been said that the numbers are not reflective of the reality of those lived experiences on campuses. As a racial equity and inclusivity commissioner, what steps do you think you would take to tackle this problem? And I understand this could be a complicated problem. I'm not looking for a quick fix, but I just want to know your approach to it. Thank you.
Thanks, Mo. I'll let Sohini answer first.
I think that's one of the critical challenges of anti-racism work. I think that by holding regular meetings through the anti-racism book club and through measures that we will have in place in collaboration with other commissioners, and by fostering an interdepartmental dialogue, I think we will be able to create an atmosphere of trust. I'm hoping against hope, so that students feel comfortable enough to share their experiences of racism and to let them know that we haven't absolved ourselves of the responsibility of taking action, because I know students feel disempowered primarily because of the fact that the problem is structural and not individualistic. So, as long as we can foster a sense of community and trust, as long as we can make students believe that it is possible to get their concerns addressed, I think we can have stories of discrimination and we can address, and we also have to make them believe that it is possible to address those concerns. So the work of this job is to really foster that sense of community and trust.
Thank you. Denise?
Hi, thank you so much for the question, Mo. Right, so I think that I would take this with a three-pronged approach. The first being to look at the anti-racism action work that's already been done and the recommendation that were put forth, in one being that every faculty and department should come up with a anti-racism committee. And I think that it is very important that graduate students are featured and have a place or are represented in those communities, in those committees, and that we as SOGS equip them. We equip them with whatever training they need. We equip them with our support and our backup, and we also equip them with letting them know what other graduate students are saying, or what other complaints around, and what's coming from our meetings as well with my constituents, and making sure that they have their finger on the pulse as well. And so when they go back to their respective faculties and respective departments, that they push forward the student agenda as well. And in addition to that, I do think that it is very important that, I think, especially we have new people coming in every year in SOGS, and I think it's very important that we too have anti-racist training. We too know how to approach anti-racist things with an anti-racist mindset, and also recognize things that are racist. And I'm saying this, I'm also very open to training and learning from other commissioners as well. So because, as I said, I don't believe we should be working in silos, and I think we should all understand the levels of oppression that each group goes through. But I think that that's very important, because if you say you're representing the students, but you yourself as an organization don't really fully understand anti-racist work, then it doesn't, it shows, you'd feel it. And so it doesn't create a warming or inviting environment. And I believe that in itself helps to silence and suppress voices. And the question here is, how do we amplify voices, right? How do we get the racialized experiences to be heard and people to come out and actually speak? And then thirdly, I would look at I really gain a lot of admiration for what was done with the Instagram pages on anti-racism and racial experiences on Western, and just how candid the posts on those Instagram pages are. And I think that needs to be amplified as well. That it would be great if SOGS had a platform that actually centralizes all those pages, because there are a lot springing up, and also just giving them incentive to continue, because a lot of them seem to be like dying down slowly. So incentive to continue, but also making sure that things that are brought up there are investigated. So making sure that things don't just stay on that Instagram page, that students see that their voices are being heard and action has been taken. And I think that would actually encourage them to continue to speak up. So those are my approaches. Thank you for the
Thank you. I'm going to go to President Senor, and then we'll ask the candidates if they are willing to take more questions past the 3 that I told them they would take. So President Senor, go ahead.
Thank you. I actually have a question that a member asked on the Discord asked me to bring forward. So thank you for that. So one of the challenges in racism is also the concept of colorism, where discrimination is not just about nation of origin or cultural background or quote unquote race, but also just like Blackism and notions of different shades of skin. So the question is sort of, given that colorism is one of the many complicating factors within racism, do you have any plans for how to address or acknowledge colorism within your work? Thank you.
Thank you. I'll give it to Denise first.
Man, that is, yes. So colorism, man, how do I even approach this? Because colorism is heavily ingrained in different cultures and cultural right, I'm not going to give a lesson on that, but I think that it is when collecting data on racialized demographics, I think there is a need to scrutinize that data as well, and maybe even stratify it in the sense that looking at, and I mean, obviously it'll have to be informal data, and that would probably be internalized information that we garner. But yeah, looking at the the different the different shades of people, and I know that it's a real concern, and so I don't want to minimize this concern. I wish I could turn on my video because I am a dark-skinned Black woman, and so I fully understand colorism. I fully see how my lighter companions, they just pass better. Right, they pass. And so I don't want to put my foot in my mouth here. I don't have a solid answer as to how I would address that. But it is noted. It is something that I thank you for the question, and it is something that I will go back and think about. But yeah, if I tried answering that right now, I don't think I'd be doing it justice. Yeah, but thank you for the question.
Thank you. Sohini?
I think one way of battling colorism is through advocacy and activism to disseminate information on historical injustices that have been perpetuated on the basis of colorism, as also the present hurdles that individuals face owing to colorism, and highlighting really how colorism has traditionally affected communities and how discrimination continues to make life unlivable for for people of color. So I think it's I think there's a need and an urgency of advocacy and activism in this regard. We have to make this a priority issue. We have to talk about it, because if there is no visibility around this issue, it will invisibilize the experiences of people who have been subjected to discrimination and violence owing to colorism. Thank you.
Thank you. So that was 3 questions. There are still 2 more hands raised. So Denise and Sohini, are you comfortable taking more questions, or would you like to stop here? The ball is in your court, in no judgment, whichever way you go, but it's up to you, the 2 of you.
I'm okay with more questions if Sohini is.
Yeah, I am as well.
Okay, Counselor 109, you can go ahead.
Hi. So as a person who is not a person of color, my question is to both of you: what role would you see us, would you need us, would you want us, if any, to take in facilitating the work that you're doing?
Thank you. So, I forgot which order I'm in. Sohini, I think you're going first this time.
Yes, I think we have to keep being invested in this work, and we have to prioritize collaboration, and we have to speak across differences in order to make this work possible. So I think it's important to be aware of the communities we are part of, and the experiences of racialized individuals and minoritized individuals in those communities, and how they are subjected to exclusionary policies or discrimination. So I think being vigilant to a certain extent can really make us invested and make us think about alternative possibilities. And I think we have to constantly innovate in terms of our interpersonal relationships, in terms of how we envision a community, how we envision justice. So I think justice is an everyday enactment through which we can bring communities, we can do anti-racist work and bring communities together. So I think talking about anti-racism is important. Talking about the work that that this office will do, as well as the work that is being done, is important, so that white supremacy is challenged at all times, so that there is no excuse for it. So I think that kind of everyday investment is necessary and crucial. Thank you.
Thank you. Denise?
Yeah, so I agree with Sohini that there's a lot of work to be done. And it's a continuous unlearning, continuous educating of what anti-white activism looks like. And so continuing to learn and continue to just really, yeah, engross yourself in what is already out there. There's a lot of information that is already out there. Continue to do that work, right? But in addition to that, again, I repeat that Black voices, racialized voices are speaking. They are there. It's not like they're not there. It's just they're not being amplified. They're not being heard. And so as an ally, as somebody that not only as an ally, but somebody that I work with, I think that you would really, really, really help in actually making sure that our voices, when we do galvanize, when we do come together, when we have action plans, when we have events, when we have whatever initiatives that we're trying to push, that you help amplify that and help amplify that in rooms where we wouldn't be able to, in conversations where we wouldn't be party to. And so, yeah, for me, that's what I think, yeah. Thank you.
Great, thank you. And we'll take a final question from Councillor 138.
Okay. Hi. So I asked a question before, but this one's a little bit different of a lens. I don't think it's too long, but it's a very important one. So I have it here, and it's, first of all, given that many of us are online due to the pandemic of COVID-19, and keeping in mind that it does create a little bit of a barrier for engagement for students, my question is, what approaches and strategies that you have to plan to lead an efficient system as a racial equity and inclusivity commissioner, especially for online racial issues that may arise that also will be hard to highlight since we might not be in person and since the majority of grad students may not even be on campus?
Denise, I'll give that to you first.
Very good question. Thank you very much. So I do think that having a constant form of communication that is explicitly expressed as a two-way form of communication is very important. I personally, and this may sound really small, but personally, I'm inundated with emails and links, and it's so much easier to be able to just open your email and go to the last email that you got and click on that link, instead of sifting through dates and dates and dates, or looking through, going through an email which takes you to another link which takes you to another link. So just having constant forms of communication, letting people know what's going on, perhaps even just throwing, giving people more information about the different forms of advocacy or what's going on out there. Even though it may sound trivial at the time, being able to just find my email, click on my link and get a hold of me, I think is very important. And then secondly, obviously having regular meetings with my constituents through Zoom. Yeah, I think in this day and age, I think we've all really started adapting to the idea that we are online. And yeah, I think that, yeah, I actually can't think of anything else to add to that, but yeah, that's what I have.
Great, thank you.
Okay.
Sohini?
I think Zoom has revolutionized our experience, and I think that it is possible to keep channels of communication open because of Zoom, and also because of social media, as well as the website where we are going to have resources uploaded. I think access to information is key, as Denise also says, that it is very important to have a level of transparency so that every racialized or minoritized student is aware that that work is still, anti-racism work is still being done. And the pandemic has not halted our work and our initiatives and efforts. So to make that information available is to invite more people to join in and to share their experiences. I know from my own subject position how difficult it is to not be in Canada, to function from India, and there are unique challenges that graduate students in other parts of the world face. So if we have meetings where we talk about these unique experiences, these very challenging experiences that do not make our graduate study ideal, I think it can go a long way in opening up a dialogue where we can then have a more sincere conversation, and we can keep the conversation going really about the challenges that we face owing to our divergent positionalities. So I think it is possible to do this kind of work online, and with the help of social media, we can reach people faster. So I'm hopeful.
Great, thank you. And I see a comment. Denise, did you have one more thing you wanted to add?
Thank you very much for even giving me this opportunity. This has been sitting on me for since the question was asked, and this was the question about colorism. So I think what was bugging me the most is I think that if we try to tackle issues of colorism, we are essentially just, we're wading in the water. So much can be done if we move as a group. And so if I am looking at something that is affecting Black students, we stand to achieve way more by moving and tackling and advocating as a group. If I'm dealing with something with, for students, Indian students, same thing. However, within our communities, that is a community conversation. I don't think that's a conversation that everybody should be privy to. I don't think that's a conversation because it shows that it divides us. And so I believe that within each community, then yes, there should be conversations that are had and that are addressed. And I don't think that actually needs to be led by me as a commissioner. I feel like they should be supported, but I think within those communities, they need to be champions that are willing to have those tough conversations, because it's like family business, right? It's not everybody's business. And so, yeah, that's my stance on the colorism conversation. Thank you.
Thank you. And okay, so that concludes our Q&A session. Two incredible candidates, and I do not envy the counselors who have to make this decision and vote. Just as a reminder, so as I said, this was recorded. It will be up on YouTube tomorrow, and it will be, so any of the counselors, even ones who weren't here, will be able to watch this or I guess listen to it because it was all audio, and cast their vote. So for those of you who don't know, usually only counselors in a meeting are given the right to vote on that election. But for this new format that we're doing, I will be sending the voting link to all SOGS counselors, which is why we're making the town hall and the Q&A accessible to all SOGS counselors as well. This is similar for those of you who are returning counselors to what we did with the presidential by-election, though on a smaller scale in terms of we didn't have all the campaign period and stuff. Anyways, so all that to say that an email is going to go out right now. Please, please, please do not email me if you don't receive it immediately. Only email me if you don't have it by Tuesday of next week. because it will get caught in your spam trap. It will, show up later than I intend it to. As we know, Western's email system is not the greatest. So I would prefer to not be inundated with emails tomorrow of people looking for the voting link. So please give it till Tuesday, check your spam trap and all of that. And if you still don't have it by Tuesday, I will make sure that you are given the link so that you can vote. Everybody will be given the link to vote. I promise you that. I just give it a bit of time to work its way through the system. So I am sending it now. Some of you will receive it right away, but not all of you, so don't panic if you don't. You have until 5 p.m. on Thursday, November 26th, to cast your vote for this position. And then on November 26th, that evening at our regularly scheduled council meeting during the announcements section, so at the top of the meeting, essentially, I will announce the winner for this commissioner position. Any questions on how this is going to happen from anyone? You can just raise your hand if you have any questions. No? Okay, I'm not seeing any questions. So that'll end our session on Racial Equity and Inclusivity Commissioner.